last night in the NBA,
That's a sports show.
the Los Angeles Lakers.
Is it?
The Lakers lost at home to the Orlando Magic. This Laker team's not any good. You know, like they're maybe they could beat a Houston team in the first round.
No.
Probably not. No, but I feel the reason I say it is because I feel like that's the only team that they could potentially be matched up with, where it's like maybe they could beat. This Laker team is first round and done. The roster is not good. And last night, you know, you get like the perfect fodder for all the TV shows, right? Where, I mean, you saw the end of this game against it was a wild finish, right?
Absolutely wild finish. There was, I mean, I don't know how far back you want to go. Do you just want to go that last possession?
It was like three possessions back and
forth, right? You get a big shot by the Lakers over here. You get Desmond Bane hits a three because the Lakers defense collapsed on Paolo Banchero. No one's playing backside over there. LeBron tries to close out, and that's when he really looks 40 years old, when he has to close out. So Bane hits that three. Lakers come back. Great under out of bounds play to score right at the rim.
A dunk by LeBron.
Yes, the dunk by LeBron. Magic come back, and you get Paolo.
Magic played? The team.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, the team. Yeah.
Paolo is one-on-one against DeAndre Ayton. He puts up the shot. Misses, but because Ayton is pulled out, no one's there to rebound. So the Orlando Magic grab the offensive rebound, lay it up. And then the Lakers call timeout. And they got
here's the moment.
Good time. There's like it's not like a 0.5 seconds. You got multiple seconds. They call the play. They get it to Luca. Luca takes one dribble and picks up his dribble. For what reason, I don't know.
Well, by the way, when he caught the pass, I mean, he was a good 8 feet behind the three-point line, but wide open. And it's a shot that he takes all the time.
Yes, but they had a lot of time. They had time for a screen to come up, get the screen set. The guys obviously trap him off the screen, the defenders. He picks up the dribble. I'm like, why don't you keep your dribble alive? LeBron is kind of like weird angle, try to carve out a passing lane to him, but after he gets the pass.
Well, Luca throws him a grenade.
Yeah, because he picked up his dribble. He has nothing. He's dead in the water. LeBron's his only outlet. He passes it to LeBron, but LeBron's got his back to the basket from the three-point line, so he's got to take this fadeaway three, and of course it misses because that's not a good shot. But it all goes back to, why did Luka pick up the dribble?
Right.
Like, why didn't you either aggressively attack?
He did get doubled.
Only after he passed up the wide open shot. And so let's hear it from Luka, all right? So here's Luka Doncic after the game on why he didn't take the shot.
I know I was open, but I just thought I was a little bit far. Tried to take one dribble closer. Probably should have picked up the ball. Just trying to attack.
Kind of weird though that he's saying he thought he was too far. He takes that shot all the time. I don't blame him. Like it did look far, but my thing is, once you know I'm putting it on the floor and a screen is coming, you know what the defense is going to do. We talked about this yesterday as a video coordinator. We break down in the games, what do these guys like to do? And they would know that the Magic like to double a good player when he's coming off a screen because they don't want to deal with this. Did you switch? Do I switch? Or any of that? They're just going to say, hey.
Do players actually know that in the moment?
Yes, because we'll have talked about it in the film session before the game. B, we'll have talked about it on the bench right before we go out there. Hey, this is going to happen if this happens, et cetera, et cetera. And then we talk about great players like Luka Doncic or LeBron James. Those guys know just from muscle memory of how many times they played against different coaches, different teams. They just know, they like to do this. So I know when this happens, I'm going to already have my plan B and my plan C ready. But the bigger question for me is that was a rare close loss for the Lakers. A rare close loss for the Lakers. Typically when they lose, they get blown the ever-living F out. To what degree, you might ask? I looked up. The teams
Research.
In losses, the team with the biggest margin of loss is the Washington Wizards. We would expect that, one of the worst teams.
They're a bad team, Dave.
Almost 19 points per 100 possessions in their losses, minus, right? Number 2, the Lakers. Wow. Which is unheard of for a team.
So when they lose, they get killed.
They get killed.
It's like they stop playing, though, right?
Yeah.
In those losses, they're just like, whatever.
That checks out. I'm with Tony. Yeah, they understand that they're load managing in real time. Yeah, this one's done. Sit them down for the rest of the game.
Here's the curiosity. When you look at the other teams, right? Number 3, the Brooklyn Nets, horrible team. Number 4, the Sacramento Kings, the worst team in the league. Number 5, the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, why aren't there other good teams who are waving the white flag?
The next good team, and this is a stretch, is Milwaukee, at 6. Then you go 7 is Chicago, bad. 8 is Portland, not good. 9 is Phoenix. They play hard, but
decent team.
They're decent. Toronto would be the next
They're a good team.
Good team.
So why is that?
They get blown out. I think it's because they're not athletic. So once
It's not a good roster.
Once it starts to go downhill
It
for them,
snowballs, right.
And then the counterpoint of that is like, not athletic, but surely they got great 3-point shooters. No, they're not good at that either. When you're not great at 3-point shooting and you're not athletic, things can get out of hand really quickly.
As a relative casual, I disagree with what Zaz has said now a couple of times, which is that it's not a good roster. I'm applying probably an outmoded standard. 10 years ago, though, the minimum standard to be a contender was most seasons that you had a big 3. They have a big 3, so what?
Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
I got it, but it doesn't really add up. Who's got what NBA teams out there would their trio of best players would you prefer to have over what the Lakers have?
I mean, let me just say this real quick, and then you could tell me if I'm right. It's more the league has gone in a direction over the last few years. It's really about having 2 really good players, and having a deep roster is much better than having 3 great players.
Well, I think there's also a kind of a misnomer there in the idea like, oh, all you need is 3 great players, and it doesn't matter who they are.
It didn't
anymore.
used to. You could cover all the other warts if you had the big 3.
It always mattered that the big 3 were complementary. That's the part. People just, give me 3, give me any 3. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. It's not just blindly give me 3. They have to fit in some way. So if you tell me big 3s of yore, I'll be like, yeah, he does this, and he does this. Versus for the Lakers, you got 3 guys. What if we're going to call Austin Reeves a big 3, by the way? Which
Big
I think
2.5.
That's a big leap. But just I'm going to, for the purpose of the exercise, say yes, he is. What do they all do? Oh, they're really good at playmaking and shot making.
And none of the 3 play defense.
None of them can defend their position.
None of them rebound.
That's right.
So it's like, why are we saying, well, this will just erase everything? Basketball is a very simple sport that people like to overcomplicate. You have to have, doesn't matter who does it, there have to be certain things that are taken care of. We need someone who take care of rebounding. Or people to take care of rebounding. We need people to create plays. We need people to terminate plays. So these are finishers, whether at the rim or whatever. We need people who are incredible shooters, just not even to actually shoot it, just to keep the defense honest. And we need individual.
If you can convince people to play 2-dimensional or 1-dimensional ball, I always think about Rick Fox as the personification of that. He wouldn't have been a rotational guy on bad teams, or maybe borderline. He wouldn't have been a starter.
No, he was a really good player in Boston. That was a bad team. When he came to the Lakers, he actually took the step down.
That's what I'm saying. When you're willing to accept that I am going to be in the starting 5, I'm just not going to be looked at as a scorer at any point of any game. If you're willing to accept that, that's what it seems like. That's the secret sauce.
But
right?
but it's a combination of willingness and ability. Some people are willing, they're just not able. So I remember when Russell Westbrook got to the Lakers. And they said, well, Russ is going to come off the bench. And I had no doubt that he was sincere in his desire. But it's like if you played basketball a certain way for 15 years on the professional level at that time, and 2 more years before that at the collegiate level, and then all of a sudden, today, we're like, and now you're going to do it completely differently. Like, that's not easy. That's not an easy transition unless you're dealing with something. That's why I go back to Tatum. I think it is going to be easy because he's got a built-in excuse that forces him. If he was just like, all right, I'm 100% healthy, what are we doing here? Maybe. But as a guy who's kind of compromised a little bit, it's like, yeah, I do need to take it slow. But when you look at the Lakers, I'm with Zaz. It is a flawed roster because, we talk about the one thing you can't do is be in between in terms of being bad or good or whatever. My thing is you can't be in between. Like, either we're super athletic, we can't shoot, but we're going to run up and down the court, we're going to lock everybody down, like Detroit is a great example of that. Or we're kind of slow and unathletic, but, man, we are going to kill you basketball-wise with our shooting, with our IQ. And, like, the Lakers are neither. They got, like, some smart, good shooting players with high IQ. They've got some guys, but they don't have the overall athleticism to make up for the shortcomings, nor the shooting to make up for them.
So before we wrap up that part of the game, I do want to hear from LeBron after the game where, Luka gave up the shot. He made a mistake picking up his dribble. Like I said, LeBron was kind of handed a grenade there, had to shoot it because he caught the ball with like 2 seconds left. Here's LeBron after the game.
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you have to ask Luca what he saw on that, but I thought he had a good look, and it looked like he kind of just lost his balance. Didn't have a rhythm with the ball, whatever the case may be, and it kind of allowed him to get back in front of him. And I was kind of off balance when he gave it to me. I thought he had a great look, but that's what I look. That's my POV.
That's
Love
his
a POV.
POV.
I like POV too. Different kind of POV than he's talking about, but I like a
little surf term.
Hey.
You know what I'm talking
He's
about.
got it in the lingo, though.
Gonzo.
I do wonder how. So Luka's the man in Dallas for all of these years. He could do no wrong. He's their guy. They drafted him. He has spent his entire career there. He's their franchise player. Being in LA now is a little bit of a different story. Okay, number one, it's the Lakers. All right, it's one of the most prestigious franchises in all of professional sports, and he's not their guy. Like, they traded for him. They traded for him with expectation, major expectation, as opposed to someone who we draft and you're homegrown and we love you forever no matter what. Like, that's not the case. I do wonder how that could possibly affect Luka's mindset because he's never had to deal with that before. Like I said, in Dallas, no matter what, you are the guy. We love you no matter what. The Laker fan doesn't love LeBron no matter what.
Right.
He's not their guy. Like
It is. I will say that is to push back a little bit as somebody who's there, and the transient nature of the population in Los Angeles is reflected in the Lakers. That's their whole MO. Kareem came from somewhere else. Shaq came from somewhere else. Will
But you
Chamberlain
gotta win.
did. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. But their model for success is bringing.
No,
in
you got to
people
win.
from
And like I'm
elsewhere.
saying, even in Dallas, like Luka could have went his whole career never winning a championship, beloved no matter what in Dallas. If Luka spends the rest of his career in LA and they don't win, he's not going to be a beloved Laker.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
He's a mercenary at that point. That he just got lucky, right? Like look how long it took Dirk to get a championship, right? How old was Dirk?
But
when he
he'd have been
finally won?
beloved no matter what.
32.
He was. So it was 2011, and he got drafted in 1998. He was like 18 years old at that time. So
Yeah, it doesn't
like
matter,
14 years. Yeah,
32, 33, wherever it was. Like, that could have been Luka's trajectory, and Dallas would have been okay with that,
Yep.
knowing at some point, maybe the Cooper Flag thing happens if they don't trade Luka, right? Like, all of a sudden, Luka's there. They get lucky enough to get the number one pick. Now it's Cooper and Luka, and all of a sudden you have this revolutionary thing at the position or at the team for Dallas. But it's like, now what is he going to do?
So I do wonder if the conversation in LA is going to begin to take a little bit of a different turn. And Grant, look, he's been there for a minute, all right? He was there for half of last season, and we're, halfway into this season. And I do wonder if the conversation in LA is going to shift a little bit, because give this a listen. This is from the Laker television broadcast last night, all right? This is the home broadcast. This is the Lakers broadcast here. Give this a listen. This is one of those plays where Luka doesn't score, doesn't get a foul. He's on the floor arguing with referees. Here it is.
Luka, little one hand. Again, he's complaining. Got to get back on defense. It's 5-on-4. Underneath. They're going to put it up and in. And one. And the foul.
That is a home broadcast. Tired of watching that.
Exasperated. It's happening
exactly.
again.
This is
5-on-4.
This is me talking to my kids. You better get that thing. If you don't clean up, you're not going to be able to have any dessert, and then I'm going to eat it all myself, and then you're going to be upset because I'm going to. That's how you do that to like a kid to let them know the consequences are coming.
Can we play the previous clip again? Like, now that we all know what to listen for, like, you're going to hear the exasperation in their voices. This is the Lakers television call. It's not the other team. It's the Lakers television call.
Luka, little one hand. Again, he's complaining. Got to get back on defense. It's 5-on-4. Underneath. They're going to put it up and in. And one. And the foul.
Yeah, that was a tone of voice that said, this defense has been bad. We've seen this before. We've seen this play before. We've lost like this before. Crazy.
All right.
Don't we want to wish our way around? I mean, basically what we're talking about here, this has all been an exercise to try and ignore reality, which is your big three, or however you want to couch it, Luka, your star, your primary, and your 1A is LeBron. Again, They can't defend their positions. LeBron used to obscure that with the Cavs, even before the Heat days. He would not just defend his position, he could defend pretty much any of the 5 spots on the floor. He also would rebound his position at a wild rate compared to his peer group. None of those 3 guys are doing anything on one side of the floor. That's what damns them forever, right?
Got to get back on defense.
All right, you can clean your room. I'm going to McDonald's. I'm walking to the door.
Underneath.
I'm opening the car door. I'm
But
starting the car.
Zaz, that's right? Like, I mean, isn't it accurate then? Like, this was a foolish proposition to begin with.
What was the foolish proposition?
Yes, you get Luca if Luca's available to you. You absolutely make that trade
every time.
I mean, but now him and LeBron and Austin Reeves. I mean, look, the idea that
honeymoon's
team
over is what it
would
is.
would win the title was never in play.
It was never in play
Right.
unless you live in the greater Los Angeles area, in which case, oh my God, we got a great player and everything's going to happen to us. Everyone gives us everything because that's been the experience of Laker fans for their entire life. But the reality is, it was the moment when they brought in DeAndre Ayton, all of us in basketball were like, oh, good luck with that. And all the Laker fans were like, we got a former number 1 overall pick, and he averaged this, and this is how we got a big man now. But, like, that's the problem. The problem is it is not – the expectation is not commensurate on day one, let alone like, oh, somewhere along the lines expectations got out of hand. Like, day one, you should have known it wasn't good enough. But they didn't know. That's why when Rich Paul said, if I were the Lakers, I'd trade Austin Reeves for Jaren Jackson Jr., everyone fainted, and I was like, that's a pretty good deal. Like, I mean, if I'm the Lakers, I would want that deal too.
But you're suggesting that management is playing to the fan base? That's what you just insinuated, which I don't think is the case.
I'm suggesting that building a championship caliber roster is a lot harder than just getting a great player.
I know, but you said everyone in Los Angeles as though what the fan base is pining for when they're not the experts making the personnel decisions.
Well, I don't think they. I guess let me be clear here. I'm not saying, oh, Rob Pelinka, you messed up. I think he's done the best with what was available to him at the time. Remember, they couldn't trade picks and all. They were really hamstrung up until this point. They're moving into next offseason a ton of cap space and at least 3 first-round picks to play with. They're building to a point where they can build around this. But, like, as far as going into this year, Tony, I don't know how much better they could have done.
No, absolutely not. But also, when you look at what they were trading, when you have somebody of Luka's caliber, like you trade for him no matter what, but you had just seen Luka drag a Dallas team that was not that good through the Western Conference into the NBA Finals, and I know there's
a lot of
it's
new
more
guys.
nuance. I know it's a lot
of new guys got there.
I know there's a lot more nuance to that, to that take. But when you get the guy, you figure he's good enough to drag you to a championship, even if you don't win, to at least drag you to a Western Conference Finals and to an NBA Finals.
The reality is, you get the guy, and then you say, well, figure it out. In the same way that Miami got Jimmy Butler, and everybody on this show is like, where are we getting him? I'm like, when they got Jimmy Butler, when they got Jimmy Butler.
I wasn't on the show. Yeah. I just realized.
And there was a lot of like, oh, what? I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm like, first of all, he's a superstar. Second of all, this is the first step. You can't just say, well, I'll be awful until everything comes to me all at once. It doesn't work that way.
Got to get back on defense.
So
it's 5 on 4. Underneath.